The smell of roasted turkey filled every corner of my son Marcus' house that Christmas evening. I stood in the kitchen doorway watching 32 people laugh and celebrate in the massive dining room he had renovated last spring. The renovation I had paid for with my retirement money, though nobody here knew that part of the story. Before we proceed, thank you for watching Her Voice Narrative. Please subscribe and tell us where you are watching from in the comment section. My name is Dorothy Chin. I am 67 years old, and that Christmas dinner was the moment I finally understood that my family had been using me as their personal bank account while treating me like hired help. Marcus had called me 2 hours before guests arrived. "Mom, we need you in the kitchen. Tara can't handle all this alone. Bring your apron. Bring my apron." Like I was catering staff instead of his mother. I showed up anyway because that's what mothers do. We show up even when something feels wrong. We help even when helping hurts. The kitchen was chaos. Tara was barking orders at me like I worked for her. "Stir this. Chop that. Don't let the gravy burn." Her sister Amanda was there too, sitting on a stool drinking wine while I worked. She didn't offer to help. She just watched me sweat over 3 different pots while making jokes about how some people just have that servant energy. I bit my tongue. I stirred the gravy. I chopped the vegetables. I arranged appetizers on silver platters that cost more than my monthly grocery budget. When dinner was finally ready, I carried dish after dish into the dining room. Marcus had set up a beautiful table. White tablecloth, candles, fresh flowers, name cards at every seat showing people exactly where to sit. I looked for my name card. There wasn't one. "Marcus," I said quietly, "where am I sitting?" He barely glanced up from pouring wine for his guests. "Oh Mom, we need you to help serve tonight. You know how these big dinners are. Too much for just Tara to handle. You don't mind, right?" It wasn't a question. It was an instruction. I stood there holding an empty serving platter while 32 people took their seats. Cousins I had bought birthday gifts for. Neighbors Marcus wanted to impress. Business partners he was trying to court. Tara's entire family who had never liked me anyway. Not one empty chair. Not one place setting with my name. I was not invited to this dinner. I was expected to work it. If you have ever been invisible in a room full of people who should have seen you, stay with me. This story is going to get worse before it gets better. And if you want to know how I finally made them pay for what they did, hit that subscribe button right now because you will not believe where this goes. 3 years earlier, everything was different. I was living in my own house in Sacramento. Small but comfortable. Paid off after my divorce settlement. Had my routines. My friends. My independence. Then Marcus called. "Mom, you are getting older. That house is too much for you. What if something happens and nobody is around? Come live with us in Texas. We have that guest house in the back. You will be close to the grandkids. We can take care of each other." Take care of each other. Those words felt warm. Like family was supposed to feel. My daughter Lisa agreed. "I think it's a good idea, Mom. You have been alone since Dad left. Marcus has space. The kids would love having you closer." I wanted to believe them. I wanted to believe that moving to Texas meant being included. Being valued. Being part of something bigger than my quiet life in Sacramento. So I sold my house. The house I had worked 3 jobs to keep after the divorce. The house where I had raised both my children. The house that was mine. I sold it for $285,000 and moved into Marcus' guest house with $285,000 in my bank account and hope in my heart. The first month felt right. Marcus hugged me when I arrived. The grandkids ran through my door every morning before school. Tara asked me to help plan a birthday party for their youngest. Then Marcus brought me the business papers. "We are expanding the company," he said. His home renovation business had been running for 6 years. Mostly small jobs. Kitchen remodels. Bathroom updates. Nothing huge. But Marcus had big dreams. "I want to get certified as a minority-owned business," he explained. "Opens doors, Mom. Government contracts. Corporate clients. But I need a woman to own 51% on paper. Would you be willing to do that?" Paper. Those 2 words should have been a warning. "What would that involve?" I asked. Just some paperwork, Marcus said smoothly. And an investment, obviously. Maybe $200,000 to help us grow. You would get it back as the business expands. Think of it as securing your future while helping your son build something real. $200,000. Almost everything I had. I hesitated. Marcus kept talking. You just moved here, Mom. This way you are invested in the family. You are part of something. The grandkids will benefit. We all win. Lisa called me that week too. I think you should do it, Mom. Marcus' business is solid. And you have been saying you feel disconnected since moving. This gives you purpose. Purpose. I like that word. I signed the papers. All of them. Page after page of legal language I did not fully understand. Marcus guided my hand to each signature line. This one makes you majority owner. This one registers you with the state. This one is just formalities. I trusted him. That was my first mistake. The money transferred 3 days later. $200,000 from my account into Palmer Home Renovations business account. I kept $85,000 for myself. Emergency fund. Medical expenses. Just in case. Marcus hugged me after the transfer cleared. You are officially a business owner now, Mom. Welcome to the team. Felt proud. Useful. Like I had made a smart decision. That feeling lasted exactly 4 months. Started small. Marcus mentioning how expensive groceries had gotten with an extra person in the house. Tara sighing about utility bills going up. Little comments that made me feel like I should contribute more. So I did. I started buying groceries every week. I paid for the kids' school supplies. I covered soccer registration fees. I picked up restaurant tabs whenever we went out as a family. Thank you, Mom, Marcus would say. You are such a lifesaver. We are stretched thin right now. Stretched thin. He said that a lot. Usually right before asking for another loan. The business needs cash for payroll. Can you cover us this month? The truck broke down. Can you help with repairs? We are waiting on a client payment. Just need to bridge the gap. Every request came with a promise to pay me back. None of them ever did. Kept a mental list at first. Then I started writing things down because the numbers were getting too big to track in my head. Groceries every week. About $150. School expenses for both kids. Around $800 over the year. Restaurant meals. Sometimes $60. Sometimes $200 when extended family joined. Emergency loans to cover payroll. $3,000 one month. $2,500 the next. $4,000 the month after that. New appliances when there's broke. $1,200 for a refrigerator. $900 for a washing machine. By the end of year 2, I had contributed over $45,000 beyond my initial investment. And I was still hearing about how expensive it was to have me living there. Then the letter came. Official envelope. State of Texas seal. My name printed on the front in cold black ink. Notice of delinquent payroll taxes. My hands shook as I read it. Palmer Home Renovations owed $8,400 in unpaid payroll taxes. As the registered majority owner, I was personally responsible for payment within 30 days or face collection action. I walked to Marcus' office. He was on the phone laughing with someone about a golf game. I waited until he hung up. What is this? I asked, holding up the letter. He barely glanced at it. Oh, that. Just a timing issue, Mom. I will handle it. Timing issue. Marcus, this says the state is coming after me if it does not get paid. He sighed like I was being dramatic. It is not going to come to that. You are listed as owner, so they send notices to you. But I handle the actual finances. Do not worry about it. But my name is on this. Because you are the majority owner, Mom. That is how it works. I told you that when you signed. I looked at my son. Really looked at him. And I realized he genuinely believed this was fine. That it was normal to put tax debt in my name while telling me not to worry. I could not sleep that night. I kept rereading the letter. Responsible party. Interest accruing daily. Collection action. Those words felt like a trapdoor opening beneath me. The next Wednesday, I went to the library where I volunteered. I was restocking the bulletin board when I saw a yellow flyer. Free seminar understanding small business liability and owner risk. I took a photo of it with my phone. Saturday morning, I told Tara I was visiting a friend. I drove to the library 2 towns over and sat in a room with about 40 other people who looked just as worried as I felt. A man in his early 50s walked to the front. "Good morning. My name is Robert Hayes. I am a business attorney and I spend most of my time helping people get out of situations they did not know they were in." For the next hour, he explained exactly what I had done to myself. He talked about owner liability, about being the name on state filings, about how the state does not care who runs the business day to day. They only care who signed the papers. If your name is listed as majority owner, he said, you are the one they come to first. And if you sign documents without understanding them, that does not protect you. Ignorance is not a legal defense. My stomach dropped. Every word he said felt like it was aimed directly at me. After the seminar, I waited until everyone else had asked their questions. Then I walked up to him. "I think I am in trouble," I said, pulling out the tax notice. He read it quickly. His expression shifted. "May I ask how you ended up as the responsible party for this business?" "My son. I invested $200,000. He said my name on the paperwork would help him get certified. He told me it was just structure." Robert folded the letter and handed it back. "Do you have copies of what you signed?" "Some of them. My son has the originals." He pulled out a business card. "I would like to review what you have. And I need to pull the state filings to see your exact legal position. Can you come to my office?" "I do not want to cause family problems," I said. "He is my son." Robert looked at me with something close to sympathy. "I am not here to create drama. But if your name is on those forms and the business is not paying its taxes, the state will come to you, not your son. And when that happens, your retirement savings, everything you have worked for, could be at risk." Took his card. It was simple. White background, black text, his name and phone number. I left that library feeling like the ground had shifted under my feet. I was not overreacting. I was not worrying over nothing. I was standing in quicksand, and it was already up to my knees. I waited 5 days before calling Robert. 5 days of telling myself I was just gathering information. That understanding the paperwork was not the same as going behind Marcus' back. His office was downtown. Glass building. Marble lobby. I rode the elevator to the 9th floor feeling like I was doing something I would have to apologize for later. Robert was waiting in a conference room. "Mrs. Chin, thank you for coming." I sat down and pulled out the folder of documents I had. "This is not everything." Marcus kept most of the originals. He spent 20 minutes reading in silence. Then he looked up. "You are listed as owning 51% of Palmer Home Renovations. Your son owns 49%. That makes you the majority shareholder and the primary responsible party for all debts, taxes and legal obligations." "But I do not run anything," I said. "I do not make decisions. I do not even have access to the bank accounts. That does not matter to the state. What matters is what is on paper. And on paper you are in charge." He slid a document across the table. "This is the operating agreement you signed. See this section. It says the majority owner is responsible for ensuring compliance with all tax filings. That is you." I stared at the words. "Just structure," Marcus had said. "Just formalities." "I also want you to meet someone," Robert said. He opened the door and a woman walked in. Harp suit, laptop, efficient energy. "This is Catherine Mills. She is a forensic accountant. I asked her to look at your situation." Catherine sat down and opened her laptop. "Mrs. Chen, I'm going to walk you through what I found. Some of this will be hard to hear." She turned the screen toward me. "Spreadsheet. Numbers. Transactions. You invested $200,000 3 years ago. That money was supposed to grow the business. Equipment, materials, employees. Instead, here is where it actually went." She clicked through the list. My chest tightened with every line. $65,000 toward a commercial office build-out that Marcus did not need because most work happened on job sites. $28,000 for 2 company vehicles registered in Marcus and Tara's names and used as personal cars. $35,000 in owner draws paid directly to Marcus and Tara over 18 months. $18,000 on equipment later sold at a loss. The rest disappeared into operating expenses covering gaps caused by Marcus underbidding jobs to win contracts, then not being able to cover his costs. What about the payroll taxes? I asked quietly. Catherine pulled up another document. He has been skipping payroll deposits for almost a year. He pays employee wages but does not submit taxes to the state. That is why you got the notice. And it is not just 1 quarter. It is 5. The total owed right now is $41,000. The room tilted. And if it does not get paid? Robert leaned forward. The state can put a lien on any assets tied to the business. That includes your personal assets, your pension, your savings, your social security. They can freeze your bank accounts. They can garnish everything with your name attached. But I did not benefit, I said. I have been paying into this family, not taking from it. No. But proving that in court takes time and money. And meanwhile you are still on the hook. Catherine closed her laptop. Your son has been running this business like a personal ATM. And because your name is on everything, you are holding all the liability. I sat there trying to process what I was hearing. For 3 years Marcus had been telling me how expensive I was. How much they sacrificed to support me. How I should be grateful they took me in. And the entire time I was the one keeping them afloat. My money paid for their expansions, their vehicles, their lifestyle. And when the bills came due, my name was on the notices. Robert pulled out another folder. I want to show you your options. He laid out 3 documents. Option 1. You demand full transparency. Access to all accounts, all records. You start monitoring everything and hold Marcus accountable. I thought about how Marcus reacted when I questioned the tax notice. He will never agree to that. Option 2. You separate your finances completely. New bank accounts. Reroute your pension. Cancel any cards he has access to. That still leaves me liable for what already happened, I said. Which brings us to option 3. Robert slid the 3rd document toward me. You sell your controlling interest to a company that specializes in buying troubled businesses. They bring in proper management, clean up the mess. You get some of your investment back over time. And more importantly, you transfer the liability off your name. That would mean taking the company away from Marcus. Robert did not sugarcoat it. It would. I stared out the window at the city below. How long do I have to decide? To decide as long as you need. To protect yourself, not much longer. I left that office carrying the weight of a choice I never wanted to make. Protect my son and risk losing everything. Or protect myself and accept what that would cost. I started separating my finances the next day. New bank account at a different bank. I rerouted my pension and social security deposits. I canceled the credit card Marcus had been using as an authorized user. Small steps, quiet steps. Steps that would protect me even if I never used the nuclear option. But I also asked Robert to move forward with option 3. Just in case. Tell me more about the buyout, I said during our next meeting. There is a company called Westside Renovation Group. They specialize in taking over struggling businesses. They would purchase your controlling interest, restructure the company, pay off the debts. Marcus could stay on as a salaried employee if he wanted. But he would not be in charge anymore. What would I get? They would pay you over 5 years. Not the full $200,000, but around 60%. And they would take on all the liability. Your name would come off the state filings entirely. So I would be free. You would be protected, Robert corrected. Free is different. I thought about it for 3 days. Then I went back to his office. I want to move forward. But I do not want to file anything yet. I need to know I tried everything else first. Robert nodded. I will prepare the documents. But I will not file them without your explicit permission. If things improve, you never use them. If things get worse, you have an immediate way to protect yourself. He pulled out corporate resolutions. 2 simple documents that would remove Marcus and Tara from all officer positions and authorize the sale of my controlling interest to Westside. If you sign these, I can hold them, Robert said. They do not get filed until you tell me. Think of it as insurance. My hand shook as I picked up the pen. I thought about Marcus as a little boy. The way he used to show me his school drawings. The way he would climb into my lap when he had bad dreams. I thought about all the times I had bailed him out. The rent I paid when he was 22. The car payment I covered when he lost a job. The credit card debt I cleared when he overspent. I had been catching him every time he fell for 35 years. But there is a difference between catching someone and letting them use you as a crash pad over and over while they refuse to learn how to stop falling. I signed both documents. My signature looked small on the page. Robert put them in a folder and locked them in his briefcase. I will not file these unless you explicitly tell me to. But Mrs. Chen, if they cross your line again, do not wait. Just text me. One word. Name. That is all it takes. Just text you, I ask. Just my name. I will know what it means. I walked out of that office carrying a loaded weapon I hoped I would never have to use. But the safety was off and my finger was on the trigger. The weeks after I signed those papers felt like living in a house made of glass. Everything looked normal on the surface, but I knew one wrong move would shatter it all. Marcus never mentioned the document request I had sent through Robert. He just delivered a box of financial records to my doorstep and drove away without knocking. Like I was a problem he could ignore if he did not make eye contact. Tara stopped asking me to help with anything. The grandkids still visited, but there was distance now. Like someone had told them grandma was being difficult. I heard Tara on the phone one afternoon. No, do not ask her for money. She is on a fixed income now. She cannot afford it. Fixed income. Like I had suddenly become poor instead of simply refusing to be their ATM anymore. Thanksgiving came and went. Marcus invited me to dinner. It was awkward and tense. He carved the turkey without looking at me. Tara made pointed comments about how hard they had been working, how tight money was, how stressful everything had become. Nobody mentioned the $41,000 in unpaid taxes. Nobody acknowledged the $45,000 I had given them over the past 2 years. They just acted like I was the problem. Early December, Marcus announced he was planning a big Christmas dinner. "We're doing it right this year," he said. "Maybe 30 people. Family, friends, some business contacts. Good for the company to show we are thriving. While owing the state $41,000. I watched the preparations unfold. Cases of expensive wine. Imported cheeses. A specialty butcher delivering steaks. Tara hired someone to deep clean the entire house. "This must be costing a fortune," I said one afternoon. Tara did not look up from her phone. "We can afford it. You do not need to worry about our finances." I was not worrying, just observing. "Well, do not," she snapped. "You made it clear you do not trust us. So maybe stay out of it." The invitations went out. Thick cardstock. Gold lettering. A guest list of 32 people. My name was not on the invitation as a guest. But 2 days before Christmas, Marcus called. "Mom, we need your help. This dinner is huge. Tara cannot handle everything alone. Can you come early and help in the kitchen?" Help in the kitchen. Not join the dinner. Help prepare it. Almost said no. But I wanted to see how far they would take this. I wanted to know if my son would actually make me work his Christmas dinner while treating me like staff. So I said yes. Christmas evening arrived. I showed up at 4 p.m. like Marcus asked. The house was already buzzing. Tara was in the kitchen surrounded by ingredients and empty platters. "Oh good, you are here," she said without looking up. "Start on the appetizers. Cheese board goes on that tray. Crackers in the basket. Make it look nice." Her sister Amanda walked in holding a wine glass. She looked at me working and laughed. Some people just have that servant energy, do not they? Kept my mouth shut. I arranged the cheese. I sliced the vegetables. I stirred 3 different pots while Tara gave orders and Amanda sat on a stool drinking wine. By 6 p.m. guests started arriving. I could hear them in the living room. Laughter. Greetings. Marcus playing the perfect host. Tara pointed at me. "Start bringing things out. Make sure everything looks perfect." I carried platter after platter into the dining room. The table was stunning. White linens, candles, fresh flowers, name cards at every seat. I looked for mine. There was not one. "Marcus," I said quietly, "where am I sitting?" He did not even look up from pouring wine. "Oh Mom, we need you to help serve tonight. You know how big dinners are. Too much for Tara to handle alone. You do not mind, right?" He did not wait for an answer. He just walked away to greet more guests. I stood there holding an empty platter while 32 people took their seats. Cousins I had bought birthday gifts for. Neighbors Marcus wanted to impress. Business partners he was courting. Tara's entire family who had never hidden their dislike of me. Not one empty chair. Not one place for me. I was not a guest. I was the help. I went back to the kitchen. My hands were shaking now, but not from fear. From something colder. Clearer. For the next 2 hours I worked. I refilled water glasses. Cleared plates. I brought out course after course while 32 people laughed and ate and celebrated. Nobody said thank you. Nobody asked if I wanted to sit down. Nobody seemed to notice I was working their dinner instead of joining it. Around 8 p.m. Marcus stood up. He tapped his wine glass with a knife. The room went quiet. "I want to thank everyone for being here tonight," he said. "This year has been challenging. Running a business is hard. But running it while supporting family makes it even harder." He turned slightly toward the kitchen door where I was standing with another tray. "Having Mom move in has been expensive," he continued. "Medical bills. Extra costs. Constant needs. We love her, but it has been a real sacrifice." Few people nodded sympathetically. Someone muttered about the burden of elder care. Medical bills I paid myself. Extra costs that came from my pocket. Needs I never voiced because I learned not to ask. But nobody here knew that. They just saw what Marcus wanted them to see. A generous son supporting his aging mother. Then Tara stood up. She was holding her wine glass, but her eyes were sharp and focused. She pointed at me. "Can we just be honest for once?" she said loudly. "She is not family. She is a burden. She moved in and took over everything. Our time, our money, our lives. We have sacrificed so much and she acts like we owe her." The room went dead silent. 32 faces turned toward me. I felt my pulse jump, but I did not look away. I just stood there holding a tray of empty plates while my son's wife called me a burden in front of everyone. Marcus stood up next to her. "She is right," he said. "Mom, you have drained us. You do not see how much we have done. We invited everyone here tonight so they could understand what we are dealing with." Someone near the end of the table laughed. A cousin I used to babysit shook his head like I had disappointed him. My daughter Lisa was sitting halfway down the table. She had not looked at me once all night. She just stared at her plate while her brother humiliated me. Then Amanda started it. Tara's sister. She sang it under her breath, just loud enough to carry. "Burden." Tara's mother joined in. "Burden." A few younger cousins laughed. And then it spread like fire. "Burden. Burden. Burden." 32 people chanting at me while I stood in the kitchen doorway holding their dirty plates. I watched my son lean back in his chair and smile. I watched my daughter choose silence over defending me. And I felt something inside me go completely calm. This was the line. They just crossed it. Lisa stood up. Her chair scraped against the floor. "Come on, Mom," she muttered, grabbing my elbow. "You are making this weird. Let us get you home." Her hand was not gentle. It was forceful. Like she was removing a problem before it escalated. I set down the tray. I let her push my coat into my hands. I let her guide me toward the door while 32 people went back to eating and laughing like nothing had happened. We stepped outside into the cold night air. Lisa would not look at me. "They did not mean it like that," she said quickly. "Everyone is just stressed. Do not take it personally." I looked at her. Really looked at my daughter. "I know exactly how they meant it," I said. She opened her mouth to argue, but I was already walking away. I got into my car and sat there for a moment. The house behind me was glowing with warm light. I could hear laughter through the windows. Pulled out my phone. Scrolled to Robert's contact. Our last message was from a week ago. "If they cross the line again, you let me know." I can file everything the next business day. You will not owe them a warning. Typed one word. Robert. My thumb hovered over send for maybe 2 seconds. Then I hit it. The message went through with a soft sound. I was not angry. I was not crying. I was not shaking. I was done. I had spent 6 months preparing for this moment, hoping I would never have to use it. Hoping my family would choose differently. They did not. So I made my choice. I drove back to my guest house while my family celebrated inside the main house. They had no idea what that single text had just set in motion. They had no idea that in 48 hours everything they built on my back was going to collapse. And for the first time in 3 years I felt like I could breathe. The next morning I woke up to 11 missed calls from Marcus. It was 6 a.m. My phone was buzzing on the nightstand like an angry wasp. I let it ring, got up, made coffee, sat on my small couch and watched the sun come up through my window. By 7 a.m. there were 23 missed calls and 31 text messages. Call me right now. What did you do? The bank says I do not have access. Mom, I know you are awake. Call me. Someone from a company called Westside contacted me. Did you sell my business? I scrolled through them calmly. Deleted nothing. Replied to nothing. At 8 a.m. Tara started texting. Her messages were sharper, meaner. My card was declined at the store. Do you know how embarrassing that is? You did this because of one dinner. You are destroying our family. The kids are asking why grandma is being mean to daddy. I hope you are happy. You ruined everything. I put my phone on silent and went to my morning water aerobics class at the community center. The water was warm. The routine was familiar. For the first time in 3 years I was not checking my phone between exercises to see if Marcus needed money. I was just existing in my own space doing something that was mine. Felt like freedom. After class I checked my phone in the parking lot. 63 total messages. I drove home without responding to any of them. At 2 p.m. Robert called. The first payment from Westside cleared this morning, he said. Check your account. I pulled up my banking app while he waited. There it was. $15,000. That is your first installment, Robert explained. You will get monthly payments over the next 5 years. It will not be the full $200,000 you invested, but it is significantly more than you would recover if the company collapsed. And the tax debts, I asked. Westside is handling them. Your name is still on the filings temporarily during the transition, but they have assumed financial responsibility. You are shielded. I sat in my car staring at that number. $15,000, that was mine. That could not be drained by emergencies that were not emergencies. Mrs. Chen, are you still there? Robert asked. I'm here. Thank you. You did the hard part. I just filed the paperwork. We hung up. I sat there for a long moment, feeling something I had not felt in years. Relief. That evening Lisa called. I almost did not answer, but she was still my daughter. Mom, she said, and her voice cracked. Please tell me what is happening. Marcus is losing his mind. He says you sold the company. He says you took everything from him. I did not take anything from him, I said calmly. I protected what was mine. But the house. He says they might lose the house. That the bank is asking questions. The house was collateral for business loans he took out. I did not put it up. He did. If the bank calls the loan because management changed, that is a consequence of how he ran things. Mom, he is scared. Tara is scared. Can you not just undo this? Can you not fix it? And there it was. The same request I had been hearing my whole life. Fix it. Make the hard thing go away so everyone else can be comfortable. No, I said. The word felt solid. Final. What do you mean no? I mean I am not fixing this. I am not undoing it. I did that for 35 years, Lisa. I'm done. But this is extreme. One bad dinner and you destroy his business. One bad dinner, I repeated. Lisa, do you remember what happened at that dinner? She was quiet. Do you remember your brother telling 32 people I drained him? Do you remember Tara calling me a burden? Do you remember the chant? Do you remember putting your hands on me and pushing me out the door while everyone laughed? They were drunk, she said weakly. And you, I said, my voice harder now. Where were you? You sat there silent. You chose the crowd over me. I heard her breathing on the other end. Unsteady. I'm sorry, she whispered. For what? For that night or for everything before it? I do not understand. Your brother has been lying to you. He told you I was dependent on him. That I cost him money. Did you ever ask to see proof, Lisa? Did you ever question his version? Silence. So I told her. I told her about the $200,000 investment. About the $41,000 in unpaid taxes with my name on them. About the $45,000 I gave them over 2 years while being told I was expensive to maintain. I told her about Robert. About Catherine, the forensic accountant. About the spreadsheets showing exactly where my retirement money went. When I finished, Lisa was crying. I did not know, she said. Mom, I swear I did not know. You did not ask. There is a difference. What do I do now? That is up to you. If you want a relationship with me, it starts with a real apology. Not I am sorry you are upset. A real acknowledgement that you chose wrong when I needed you. I am sorry, she said, and this time her voice was steady. I'm sorry I did not defend you. I'm sorry I believed his story without checking. I'm sorry I pushed you out that door. You deserved better from me. Closed my eyes. Thank you. Can I still see you, she asked. Can I bring the kids? But not at Marcus' house. I am moving into my own apartment next week. You are welcome there anytime. But I am done pretending everything is fine when it is not. That is fair, she said quietly. We talked for another 20 minutes. About her job. About the kids. About normal things. When we hung up, my phone was finally quiet. Marcus had stopped calling. Tara had stopped texting. The panic had passed and now they were regrouping. But I was not waiting to see what came next. I was already moving forward. For months later, I was sitting on my tiny balcony drinking morning coffee. My new apartment was small but mine. 1 bedroom. Kitchen with a table for 2. Living room with my old couch and a bookcase. The walls had photos I chose. The silence had peace in it instead of tension. I had moved out of Marcus' guest house in mid-January. Packed everything in 2 days. Left the key on the kitchen counter with no note. No explanation. Just gone. West Side Renovation Group had taken over Palmer Home renovations completely. They brought in professional management. Implemented real accounting systems. Started paying off the debts Marcus had let pile up. Marcus had refused their offer of a salaried position. I am not working for strangers in my own company, he told Lisa, who told me during one of her visits. So he started over. Picking up small jobs with a friend's crew. Much smaller projects. Much less money. Much less control. The reputation he spent years building had cracked. People in that industry talk. They knew when someone lost their business because they could not manage money properly. Tara took a job at a dental office answering phones. Her social media went quiet. No more posts about imported wine and fancy dinners. Just occasional photos of sunsets with captions about growth and new beginnings. Their house went on the market in February. They moved into a rental in March. Smaller. Cheaper. No room for hosting 32 people. I felt sad about it sometimes. Not guilty. Just sad. Sad that Marcus had been so close to having something real and destroyed it through arrogance and entitlement. But I did not feel responsible for fixing it. That was new for me. Lisa came by most Saturdays with the kids. We would make pancakes in my small kitchen, then walk to the park down the street. The kids would play while Lisa and I sat on a bench talking about real things. She had apologized 5 more times since that first phone call. Each time more specific. More honest. I should have asked questions instead of believing him, she said during one visit. I took the easy path and you paid the price. I'm sorry. I accepted her apologies. Not because they erased what happened, but because I could see she meant them. And because I wanted my daughter in my life, even if the path back was not simple. The grandkids did not understand the details. They just knew Grandma had a new place with a balcony where they could feed birds. And a cozy living room where they could have sleepovers. They did not need to know about frozen bank accounts and legal documents and Christmas dinners where people chanted insults. They just needed to know I was still here. I started volunteering at the library again. Same branch where I saw Robert's seminar flyer all those months ago. I shelved books on Tuesday mornings and helped patrons find what they needed. I also joined a walking group. 7 women all around my age. We met at the park 3 times a week. Walked 2 miles while talking about everything and nothing. Recipes, doctor appointments, grandkids, books we were reading. None of them knew my whole story. They just knew I was Dorothy, the woman who always remembered everyone's coffee order when we stopped at the cafe afterward. I was not defined by what I could pay for anymore. I was not the woman funding someone else's dreams while being called a burden. I was just myself, making my own choices, setting my own boundaries, living on my own terms. Some nights I thought about Marcus. I remembered him as a little boy. The way he would show me his homework so proudly. The way he would help me rake leaves in the fall even though he complained the whole time. I remembered the teenager who tested every rule, who slammed doors and shouted that I did not understand anything. I remembered the young man who called me crying when his first business idea failed. And I told him failure was not the end, just information. I had loved him through all of it. I still loved him now. But love did not mean what I used to think it meant. Love did not mean carrying someone through consequences they earned. It did not mean sacrificing myself so he could avoid discomfort. It did not mean accepting humiliation because walking away felt too hard. Love could exist alongside boundaries. I just wished he had learned that before it was too late. But that was his journey, not mine. I had done my part. I raised him. I supported him. I gave him chances long after most people would have walked away. And when he crossed the line I drew, I protected myself. Not with cruelty. Not with revenge. Just with one text. Name. One decision to stop carrying weight that was never mine to carry alone. 6 months after that Christmas dinner, I was at the farmer's market on a Saturday morning. I was picking through tomatoes when I heard a familiar voice behind me. I turned around. Marcus was standing there holding a paper bag of vegetables. He looked tired, older somehow, like the weight he had been carrying was finally visible on his face. We stared at each other for a long moment. People moved around us. The market noise continued, but everything felt suspended. "Can we talk?" he asked quietly. I looked at my son, the one I had raised, the one I had trusted, the one who had humiliated me in front of 32 people while I held their dirty plates. "What is there to say?" I asked. "I want to apologize." I waited. I did not make it easy for him. "I was wrong," Marcus said. His voice was low, trained, about everything. "The way I treated you, the way I used your money, the way I let Tara talk to you at Christmas. I was wrong and I am sorry." "Why now?" I asked. "'Cause I lost everything," he said. "The business, the house, my reputation. And in losing it, I finally understood what I had done to you. I took everything you worked for and I treated you like you owed me." I felt something twist in my chest. Not forgiveness yet. Just acknowledgement that he was finally seeing clearly. "You called me a burden," I said. "In front of everyone. You let them chant it at me while I stood there holding plates." His eyes filled with tears. "No. I was trying to justify what I had done. If I made you the problem, then I did not have to admit I was the problem. But Mom, I was the problem. I am the problem." A woman walked past us reaching for tomatoes. We stepped aside to let her through. "What do you want from me?" I asked Marcus. "Nothing," he said. "I do not want anything. I just wanted you to know I finally understand. You were not the burden. I was. And I am sorry it took losing everything to see it." I looked at him. Really looked at him. And I saw something I had not seen in years. Humility. "I appreciate the apology," I said carefully. "But an apology does not erase what happened. It does not give me back the money I lost or the 3 years I spent being treated like hired help in your house." "I know," Marcus said. "I am not asking for forgiveness. I am not asking to fix this. I just needed you to hear me say I was wrong." We stood there in the middle of the farmer's market. Mother and son. Connected by blood and history and wounds that might never fully heal. "I am doing better now," I said finally. "Have my own place. My own life. I am not looking backward anymore. I'm glad, Marcus said. You deserved better than what I gave you. Yes, I said. I did. He nodded. Shifted his bag of vegetables. Should go. Tara is waiting in the car. I nodded too. He started to walk away, then stopped and turned back. For what it is worth, he said. You taught me something important. You taught me that people will only treat you the way you let them. And you stopped letting us treat you badly. I respect that even though it destroyed me. It did not destroy you, I said quietly. Just made you face consequences. There is a difference. He smiled sadly. Maybe you are right. He walked away through the crowd. I watched him go until I could not see him anymore. Then I turned back to the tomatoes. Selected the ones I wanted. Paid the vendor. Continued with my morning. I did not chase after Marcus. I did not offer to help him rebuild. I did not fall back into old patterns. I just let him walk away. And it felt like the right thing to do. That afternoon Lisa came by with the kids. They burst through my door with the energy only children have. Talking over each other about school and friends and a new video game they wanted. I made them snacks. We sat on my small balcony. The kids ate apple slices while telling me about their week. Lisa pulled me aside while the kids were distracted. Marcus told me he saw you today, she said. He nodded. At the farmer's market. He said he apologized. He did. How do you feel about it? Lisa asked. I looked at my daughter. She had made her own journey over these past months. From choosing her brother over me to choosing honesty over comfort. Feel okay, I said. The apology does not change what happened. But it does show he is finally seeing things clearly. Do you think you will ever forgive him? She asked. Maybe, I said. But forgiveness does not mean going back to how things were. It just means I will not carry anger about it anymore. There is a difference. Lisa nodded. She understood. The kids ran back inside asking if they could watch a movie. I set them up on my couch with a blanket. Put on something animated and cheerful. Lisa and I sat in my small kitchen drinking tea. I am proud of you, Mom, she said suddenly. I looked up surprised. Proud of me? For protecting yourself. For setting boundaries. For not letting us use you anymore. I know it was hard. But you did the right thing. I felt tears prick my eyes. Thank you for saying that. We sat in comfortable silence for a while. The kids laughed at something on the TV. The afternoon sun came through my kitchen window. This is nice, Lisa said, looking around my small apartment. Feels peaceful here. It is, I said. For the first time in years, it really is. That night after Lisa and the kids left, I sat on my balcony watching the sunset. The sky turned orange and pink and purple. I thought about everything that had happened. The investment I made believing I was helping my son build something. The 3 years I spent being treated like a burden while I funded their lifestyle. The Christmas dinner where 32 people chanted insults at me. I thought about the moment I signed those legal documents in Robert's office. The moment I sent that single text. The moment everything changed. And I realized something important. I was not a victim in this story. I was someone who had been taken advantage of, yes. But I was also someone who fought back. Someone who protected herself. Someone who refused to keep accepting crumbs while being told she should be grateful. That Christmas dinner was not the end of my story. It was the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where I was not defined by how much I could give. Where I was not valued based on my usefulness. Where I was not invisible at tables I helped set. A chapter where I was simply Dorothy Chen, 67 years old, living in a small apartment, volunteering at the library, walking with friends, having coffee on my balcony while birds sang. A chapter where I was enough just as I was. My phone buzzed. Text from Lisa. The kids want to know if they can sleep over next Friday. Movie night and pancakes in the morning. I smiled and typed back. I would love that. I set my phone down and looked out at the darkening sky. Tomorrow I would go to water aerobics. Then the library. Then maybe the farmer's market again. Simple routines. Simple pleasures. A simple life that was entirely mine. And for the first time in years that felt like more than enough. Felt like freedom. If you have ever been called a burden by people who were leaning on you the whole time, I see you. If you have ever had to choose between your peace and someone else's comfort, I understand. If you have ever walked away from people who rewrote your story to make themselves look better, you are not alone. Protecting yourself is not selfish. It is survival. Setting boundaries is not mean. It is necessary. Walking away is not giving up. It is choosing yourself. I spent 3 years being invisible. 3 years being used. 3 years being told I was the problem when I was actually the solution. That Christmas dinner when my son made me serve 32 guests like hired help while his wife called me a burden, I could have accepted it. I could have swallowed the humiliation. I could have kept playing the role they wrote for me. But I did not. Smiled. I walked out. I sent one text. And I changed everything. One word. Name. One decision. That is all it took to reclaim my life. Marcus lost his business, his house, his reputation. And people might say I was cruel for that I destroyed my own son. But I did not destroy him. I just stopped letting him destroy me. There is a difference. He made choices. He faced consequences. That is not cruelty. That is reality. And maybe losing everything will teach him what having everything never did. That people are not resources to be drained. That mothers are not ATMs to fund your lifestyle. That family is not an excuse to use people. Maybe he will learn. Maybe he will not. Either way, it is not my responsibility anymore. I raised him. I loved him. I gave him everything I had. And when he threw it back in my face, I walked away. That does not make me a bad mother. It makes me a woman who finally learned her worth. I am 67 years old. I am sitting on my balcony drinking coffee while the sun comes up. I am watching birds fight over the feeder I hung. I am planning my day around things that bring me joy instead of obligations that drain me. I am free. And if my story resonates with you, if you have ever been invisible in a room full of people who should have seen you, if you have ever been the one everyone leaned on while calling you weak, I hope you know this. You deserve better. You deserve to be valued. You deserve to protect yourself even when it costs you relationships with people who only loved what you could give them. You deserve to be free. And sometimes freedom costs everything. But it is worth it. Every single time it is worth it. My name is Dorothy Chin. I am 67 years old. And I am no longer anyone's burden. I am just free.